Hi, I'm Kaylee, and today I'm going to tell you about some books that I want to reread. In case you didn't know, Books for MKs is a charity that donates books to missionary kids who desperately need reading material. If you want to donate to the kids, you can do so at GoFundMe.com. There's going to be a link down in the description, and there's a button at the end of this video where you can click to donate to the kids. So I started thinking about books that I want to reread, and I started making a list, and I made 4 lists because there's a lot of books that I want to reread. So I decided that was just way too much, and I decided to break it up into separate videos. So today we've got this one. I'm going to be telling you about some middle grade and YA books that I want to reread, that I desperately need to reread. First of all, number 1 on this list, we just need to get it out of the way. Percy Jackson. Everything Percy Jackson, everything. I've just read the regular, Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Yes. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and I've read the Heroes of Olympus. I want to reread those. But then I also haven't even started Magnus Chase yet. And there's so many other Rick Riordan books that I need to read, but I feel like, you know what? Y'all just gonna have to wait because I want to go back and read me some more Percy. So we'll see. We'll see if I end up going ahead and reading Magnus Chase. I still need to read Trials of Apollo. I haven't read any of those, I know. Or do I just go back and reread Percy Jackson? And the others just have to wait. Leave me a comment and let me know. What should I do? Should I read the new ones, or should I just go back and read the old ones? Another series that I absolutely love is the Enola Holmes book. This is the, fictitious little sister of Sherlock Holmes, and she runs away from home because they want to put her in this ladies' boarding school and make her wear corsets and stuff like that, and she hates it. And so she's on the run, she has all these disguises, and of course she goes around finding missing persons and solving mysteries, and she is utterly amazing. One of my favorite series is the mysterious Benedict Society. This is a society of young orphans. They're all incredibly smart in one way or another. They all have like these really genius strengths, in different areas. And of course they come together to stop the bad guys from taking over the world, and Mr. Benedict is their mentor. Another favorite series that I want to reread is The New Policeman, which is set in Ireland and is all about, I know I'm going to say this wrong, Tirnanog, which is like the land of the fae, the land of the fairies, and it's all about how these two worlds begin to collide and how people are tricked going into one world or the other, and this one boy and his family have kind of a history with the fae. I'm just realizing most of the books on this list are all series. Like, it's not just one book. It's like, I want to reread the whole series of 7 books or whatever. How am I ever going to reread all of these? Oh my goodness. Well, the next one is a lengthy series, the Mantle Chronicles. It's about a young squirrel who is born under the riding stars. So it's like there's a meteor shower. There's a lot of falling stars when he's born. And of course, it is a prophecy and a portent that he will grow up to be amazing. And he does. The next one is a children's classic, or I guess sort of a middle grade classic, What Katie Did. And it's all about young Katie and her family, and she and her siblings have all sorts of, funny adventures out in the country. She goes to school, etc. And it's just sort of the little everyday doings and the little everyday dramas of this lovely country family back in the day. I absolutely need to reread the Little Women series. So it's Little Women, Little Men, and Joe's Boys. Those 3 were some of my favorites growing up. I must have reread them 15 or 20 times. I mean, I just kept rereading them, but I haven't read them in years and years, and I know I would just love to go back and revisit those. The Dark is Rising series really brings otherworldly magic into the everyday lives of people. And I really like that it's very rooted in real myths that, that we have in ancient history and everything. I really love books that take this ancient magic and sort of pair it with modern, well, I guess it was modern in the 50s. But these modern kids have to learn how to deal with, you know, all of these ancient prophecies and stuff. Another favorite is the Charlie Bone series. Oh, Charlie Bone. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. I just fell in love with so many of the characters in Charlie Bone, and each of them has their own special gift, their own special magic that they can do. Or some people have the power over the weather, or they can talk to animals, or, you know, each one has their own special gift. And so, man, it just makes for such an interesting plot and so many interesting characters and how they all develop throughout this series. I love it. Yet another fantastic series. All of these are series. Why is that? Another really great one is the Keys to the Kingdom series, which starts with Mr. Monday. And a young boy is offered a key to an otherworldly kingdom, and then it's up to him to sort of stop these other guys from gaining power. And of course, it's all, you know, magic and intrigue and spies and all kind of amazing stuff. The Castle in the Attic duology was one of my favorites when I was a kid. It's this little, you know, small dollhouse type castle that this boy finds in an attic, and then he is transported to the land of the castle and has to fight off, you know, the evil guys to save the castle, but it's all happening up there in his attic. Finally, we have a book that's actually just one book, not a series. Cornelia Funk's The Thief Lord. I really don't remember a lot about this, except that it's a group of kids and they're all a bunch of pickpockets and thieves trying to make their way, you know, trying to feed themselves out on the streets. And they have a thief lord who is, you know, over them and organizes their group. And that's kind of all I remember. I really need to reread this one so I can figure out, you know, I mean, I remember I loved it. Another standalone book that I love is The Tale of Time City, and I think it's been at least more than 10 years since I've read this one. All I remember is that they go traveling through time and they have like fancy technology, and that's kind of all I remember. I remember I loved it, and I remember it had really good characters that I loved, but I really need to reread it to figure out what was that book even about? The Chasing Vermeer series is about these kids who come together to solve these art mysteries. So they have parents who are into art and architecture, and so these kids know a lot about those things. They just kind of pick it up from their parents. And they find a mystery, they find clues, and of course, you know, they go on adventures. I really love this series because it's all about, you know, art and architecture and painting, and you know, it takes place in museums and stuff like that. So you really learn a lot as you're going through the book, but it doesn't feel like, oh, it's a lesson, you know. You enjoy learning about it. Another standalone is Airman. This is about a young boy kind of back in the day who is trying to discover flight. You know, he's trying to build his own airplane or like a hang glider or something like that. And he becomes friends with the princess, of course. And then when they grow up, he has to save the princess. And the only way he can do it is by finishing his flight machine. Oh, such a great adventure. And you think it's going to be like, oh, he has to save the princess. Here we go. How cute. You know, like it's just going to be so cutesy or something. But it's not. It just blows your mind. It's so different from what you think it's going to be. Oh, so good. And the last one on this list is The True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle. This is about a girl, Charlotte, who books a passage on this ship going across the Atlantic. So she's going to meet her family, and there's mutiny, and there's pirates, and there's murder, and then nobody believes her when she tells them what really happened. So these are her true confessions about what really happened on board that ship. Okay, those are some of the books I want to reread. Oh, there's just so many of these, and I love them all so much. So please leave a comment down below and let me know, what are some books that you want to reread? Do you want to reread any of these that I have on my list, or do you need to read some of these for the first time? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.